the saddest things that I lost was not like a record deal or this, things that I thought were the most important thing in the world. But it's like, you started this for a reason. You were given an assignment as a child, a calling, a purpose, and all this others. It just got lost somewhere in that ambition to be validated, to not cross things off my list. Like, I set the bar really high. It's so crazy to now miss the person that drove me crazy, that aspect that drove me crazy of him always pushing me, and wish he was here to push me. I have grown in ways. Hold up, now I'm about to get emotional.
Yeah.
Honey, I have shown up in my life not for my dad. This is not a thing of like, well, this is what my dad would want. I gotta honor my dad. Like, I honor him in everything I do anyway. But to honor me, that's the gift that I'm giving him.
So the first person I thought about, right, when doing this series 5 years ago, was you.
Really?
Elle Varner, absolutely. I swear, when I was like writing it out, outlining the show, I was like, I have to have Elle, because the way that you inspire me to create is something very special. Because Elle, to me, and from somebody that's out looking in, because I'm sure, you have your own things going on, but to me, it looks like requirements doesn't hold you back. Setbacks don't hold you back. Expectations don't hold you back. And you still put one foot in front of the other, no matter what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what's going on, but it never looks like this thing's going on. So I'm like, and you still create, like you still are in your bag, especially with songwriting. You sing and you produce. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To do all those things. And still, like, you got the plaques, we got the trophies. You understand? The resume stands on its own. But truly, your creative process is something for the world to see, honestly. Like, music should be honored that you prioritize the genre. Like, truly. So, I said that all to say, yes, of course, the introduction, but I would love for you to introduce who you are here and now.
My name is Elle Varner. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, actress, lover of life.
Lover of life.
I'm a lover of life.
You're a Walmart of little picture. You know how they say, live, love, laugh.
Oh, yeah, I'm all that corny shit.
That's adorable.
I hate those things, by the way.
I know. I think they should never be in people's house. But I think it's adorable that people live by it. But
they
having
do.
it in your home is like enough.
It's like, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong here?
It is the same one.
And it's always like gray or beige.
Yep.
No, I should stop. I think I'm not going to go on a tangent about that because I can. But
Live, love, laugh?
Just about like affirmations, and I think that there was definitely a time when like my life was so simple and my mindset was so simple that I would pick something, focus on it, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now I think as we get older, my new theory is that like we just pile on, we acquire so much.
Yes, Lord. Mm-hmm.
We acquire hurt, resentment, pain, suffering. Mm-hmm. But in reality, it's like the clock just set over. You woke up another day. It's another 24. That's all that's actually happening. Yeah. All that other stuff already happened and does not define you. So I think that's like how I try to live now. Just constantly letting go.
Well, that's a job within itself.
It is. It's a practice.
Right.
It's a
definitely
practice.
a practice. So I would ask, like, the woman that you are today, are there any parallels with how your parents would, how they would describe you as a child?
Oh, totally. I mean, I was determined, whatever it was. Like, one thing that I love about my childhood is that I ran track and I was awful. I have like 10, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th place little ribbons. But when you saw me at that starting line, I looked like I was about to tear it up every time. Like, I went into the race, like, maybe this time I will. Like, it just didn't affect me really, you know?
Right. I used to swim like that. I thought that swimming, like, I would be 8 years old, and I was like, I'm about to tear these niggas up. They have no idea what's about to go down. And I get in the water, and I mean, I am probably a smooth 6 minutes behind everybody.
Right.
But the person that was screaming the loudest was my mom, right?
Right.
And she would be like going off. Like, I mean, I thought that I was winning for sure. Like, I had took off, and these niggas are behind me. I get there and hit the tape. People was already out of the pool when I was done. But to say all that, when did you start believing that you were good? Because you started singing when you were 6?
I started singing when I was about 2.
Okay. Because when did you start listening to your parents? Because I know for sure your parents knew before you knew.
Yeah.
What you were good at. Then when did you start believing that?
One of the first, so I sang in church when I was 7, and I had a little solo, and the room fell silent. And I was just like, okay. I was like, well, all right then. This is what I'm supposed to do. It was like a spiritual.
Okay, so you felt
I knew
that
it.
people loved it. Because when you said the room fell silent, I was like.
No, it was like the impact was so, I was like, you know, the sound might sound crazy. I loved the sound of my voice. I loved to You do? No, not my speaking voice. Like singing.
When voice. No matter. My singing, I used to sing opera. So
what?
Yeah. Girl, please.
Oh,
at Harlem School of the Arts. Shout out to you. But I love singing. Hate it all. I don't like to hear. I love to sing. Hate to hear it back.
Really?
No parts. No parts. But that's because I'm not a real singer, okay? I could hold maybe a note or 3, but not like you. Let's be fucking for real, okay, for a second.
I bet you I could pull it out of you.
You know what? Under your practices, 100%. Okay, because you don't play about the vocals. But for me, I don't have no range. You know what I'm saying? I stick to one song. I got one favorite song.
Which is?
And I Just Can't Give Up Now. Mary, Mary.
Oh. Do I remember that one? Can you sing a little for us?
I just can't give up now because I ain't singing it. But I come too far from where I started from.
I vaguely remember that one.
It's my song. I love it. But like, do you keep that child in mind still to this day? Do you think about it?
No.
Okay.
I don't enough. I think that's one of the saddest things that I lost was not like a record deal or this, you know, things that I thought were the most important thing in the world. But it's like, you started this for a reason. You know, you were given an assignment as a child, a calling, a purpose. And all this other, it just got lost somewhere in that ambition to be validated, to not cross things off my list. Like, I set the bar really high. You know, I was like, I'm going to NYU. I had a C average. You know, like my college counselor was like, don't bother applying. You know, and I know it was crazy, but that made me want to do it even more. Right. So I got everything off my list that I wanted to achieve, and then I was like, okay, now what? Like, that's not, I admire people who are ambitious, and I think it's healthy and important, but I also think it's important to kind of let go, like I said earlier, and live your life, because then it's like you spend your whole life ripping and running to get something, and then you get it, and now what?
Yeah.
You know, life is in each moment, moment to moment,
Yeah.
not
Definitely
the
not.
finish
But
line.
yeah, that things like that are interesting and great to have. But
Yeah.
like, speaking of like losing the child part, I felt like I kept losing her all the time, right? 13-year-old. I think of 13-year-old me all the time. I kept losing her. And my biggest fear is I'm going to lose her for good, because I don't think, Elle, is ever too late to connect with your younger self.
Never.
It's never. But I often think like, oh, have I disappointed her? Because a lot of times, whenever you go against whatever 13-year-old you was for, whether it is, following a dream, and, as younger, you're like, you could do this, this, and this. There aren't the insecurities, like you were saying, the insecurities and the stop signs and all the caution tape that's around. There wasn't any of that. You just were dreaming freely.
Yeah.
And I think I've been doing her a disservice with just not dreaming freely. But I think the best thing you can do as far as like getting back to her is doing the things that you love without wanting an award or without wanting recognition. The why has to stay really clear. And I have problems with that. It's a big issue for me.
So let's talk about discipline for a minute.
Okay. Well, I don't have it, so please, more.
So what I've learned recently about discipline is that, first of all, it has nothing to do with how you feel. If you check in with your feelings, what you say is going to like take a back seat to how you feel. I said I was going to do this, but I don't feel like it. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Because you're an adult now, you now have to make sure that child, your parent took you to swim school.
Yeah.
Your parent bought you the uniform, and your parent facilitated all these things to happen, whether it was buying you the materials, the paintbrushes. And now you're the parent.
Right. And I hate it.
Listen. But I get it. I feel you. But also there's something so beautiful about that synergy between your child self and your parent, of you as the parent. Because now you get to love this child the way they want to be loved. You get to care for them in exactly the way that only you always knew exactly what you needed and wanted as a child. And our parents, they're human. They can't, we think that like our teachers are God, our parents are God. Everybody's like this big alien that knows everything, and they're just people. So I found that I've been able to heal my relationship, heal my inner child by caring for her.
Okay.
And part of caring for her is showing up for the things I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. Like, I'll be very honest. Like,
Say it.
So, like, when it comes to music and being independent, I can write songs all day long. But what it takes to conduct business, to do administrative work, to even produce, like not making beats, but actually produce. You call in the musicians, you book the studio, you do all these things. I know I'm capable of all these things, but sometimes I'm just like, I find it so cringy to know that I have to do these things, and that's something I'm working through. I'm like, I see the resistance as like fear. I think I am kind of afraid because so much bad stuff happened.
Yeah.
But then there's this other side of me that even hearing you say like I inspire you, I'm like, there's something so pure about what I do and my gift, and it's like atrocious not to do it. It's like I have to.
It's a disservice to humanity, is what I'm saying. Humanity. But then I want to rewind real quick because you hit something. First of all, me and you have something in common. We have a few things in common, but
Okay.
we work in the same industry as our parents.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And let me just let y'all know real quick that her parents are legendary. Okay, say that. Her mom and her father had a group called By All Means. Listen to the album, by the way. Great stuff.
Really great.
I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
It's very peak 90s.
Yes.
Very peak, like late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
Still a big fan.
Yes.
But also, your mom sang background for Barry White,
yes.
who is my husband in my head. And your father is a absolute amazing songwriter, and both of them have credits on your albums.
Yes.
So
yes.
I would say, how has working in the same industry, because I have a very long list, has helped you and hindered you?
Ooh, okay. I mean, it helped because growing up in a household where my dad was producing all the time, so I was like, I lived in a studio basically. There was always some kind of equipment in our house or access to the space. My mom just was singing all the time, writing all the time. Her friends, she would have Soul Food Sunday every Sunday. And like Rasan Patterson, who's my godfather. I know. Actresses, music, all the top background singers in the business, background singers. They are the real ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
The true MVPs for sure.
Yes. Trina Broussard, Robert Valverde, so many incredible talents that I was around. So I soaked it all up, they kind of, I'm not like I wouldn't call I'm not a Nepo baby.
Well, according to the internet, it don't matter. Like, you're a Nepo baby just because.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Like, it don't matter.
I'll take that. Nepo.
I call myself a Nepo baby all the time.
Yeah. It was more like the meat, the substance that I was given than like resources per se. I still had to fight for everything. I still had to work my butt off. With my dad, he was pretty hard on me. It's so crazy to now miss the person that drove me crazy, that aspect that drove me crazy of him always pushing me, and wish he was here to push me. Like, I'm like, now I get it. Now I get what you were trying to get me to understand. And that's just a part of this experience.
Yeah.
We have things for a period of time, and we don't have them forever. So.
And that's just a part of just life, but understanding grief.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing a lot of heavy work with grief as of late. And so, like, missing things that you wouldn't have missed, but also understanding, like you said before, like, we're the adults now. Yeah. And I think it's hard for me to remember that I am an adult, like a full-ass, grown-ass woman, like 33 years old, about to be 34. I'm grown. So having to learn, well, you really have to break yourself apart to put yourself back together.
Woo.
As far as when it comes to grieving, I'm learning now.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at it. So I'm still, it's a practice, like you say, to continue to do that. But also my question is, has it ever, as far as the hindrance, like working with your parents and have to understand, like talk to them about what the time is? Because I feel like they have their ideas of how you should move. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many times I'm going to have to explain to my mom how influencing works. Or podcasting. Even podcasting, she thinks of it like NPR.
Right.
She doesn't think of it as like, y'all are just talking about anything. Y'all can talk about whatever y'all want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what this is. And she couldn't understand that this could actually put money in my pocket. So we had like battles. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And she's a perfectionist. She's a legend. So I wanted to be as perfect as her.
Woo!
Because I didn't want to disappoint her. I've disappointed my mom a lot. So I didn't want to disappoint her in that aspect, especially where she would feel most proud.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to? Yeah.
I'm a daddy's girl, so it was like it was lucky for both of us that I loved to learn from him.
Yeah.
That being said, again, I did not learn enough.
Did you, or do you?
No, I didn't.
Wait, Elle, do you feel that way, or are you just missing him?
No, I didn't learn.
You don't think?
Listen, I got all this equipment.
You know,
like
how to
he
use
did
it.
it so he did. That man could smoke weed all day long, chill in his chair, and he would just be like, he was just always, he was a machine. And he said one time, he was like, well, you got a daughter, and you gotta, like, he was 23 when I was born, okay? He was a child. He never had a moment where he was like, well, let me just go hang out. Like, I have to provide for her. I have to work. I have to produce results. Yeah. That's something he always used to say. I care about results because I would like to just be like, well, I tried and I did it. What are the results? And I appreciate that now because it's like, if you allow yourself, you will bullshit yourself out of so much. And we don't have the time we think we have. Look, I'm laissez-faire all day long. I like to chill. I don't be at the party. Same. I be chilling. And then at the same time, I'm like, do you know how impactful you could be if you just...
I would hate to just stop you right there. You are impactful.
No. Oh, okay.
Let's not play with me right now.
No.
Please,
right.
To this day, don't do it. But I feel like you can always grow 100%.
So I'm trying to have like a second wind here is what I'm trying to do. Okay. So I have had impact and I get that, but like
I want you to not piss me off. Just say, I want this next sentence to make sense to me.
I am a little crazy. Like, there's a part of me being honest that it's almost like maybe it's reverse imposter syndrome, where it's like, if I'm not like the top or the best, it's like I've done nothing. And
that's me too. You know what? I shut myself out. Yeah, I just said, let me shut up.
It's tough, it's tough. And like I get so much love, the purest, most profound love from my fan. Like I got to be a regular ass bitch in this life. I can go to Target. I can go to Walmart.
And that's a luxury.
That is a luxury.
Absolutely, it is. You did mention going to NYU, right? You did the Clive Davis Department of Recorded Music. You got most likely, is that true? You got most likely to get signed and most likely
to win
a Grammy. So I feel like in your early 20s, you've had a ton of validation. Tons. Did you lean on that a lot?
Oh, I was like,
okay.
Okay. Let's go to the beach. I'm that bitch, yo. Bye.
So when that happened, then you put out an amazing album, Perfectly Imperfect. Like you were on a go.
I was on a roll.
I understand. When did the validation get silent? Not with people saying stuff. I think to you in your own brain. When did that happen? Because I'm sure people were validating you, but you weren't able to receive it at that time because
God is so good. What the gift and the blessing I have received from failing. I mean, it's all real up in here. There's no sugar coating. There's no push-up bra. it's like when you are 22 and you're at the Grammys and everybody's calling you and this one's talking to your publicist and niggas sending you bags and like I was like, what? I've never met this man. Is this a
best day ever?
Like best day ever? And you know, when your life is going that way, you just think, oh, I'm chilling. I made it. Life don't work like for anybody.
Any walk of life.
Anybody.
Yeah.
We see Beyonce in rehearsal on stage, doing all this stuff. We rarely see Beyonce chilling at the pool. Mm-hmm. You know, she might in her own time, but it's like there's just those people that are just, they're going to work and they're going to work. And that's where what I did not understand. I thought, like, I have to go to the studio? Like, I just put out, I got a top 10 record. Absolutely. Like, I have to go live. I have to go. And, like, one thing my childhood acting teacher, Wendy Raquel Robinson, used to say,
I love Wendy.
She's the best. Yeah. She is my mentor, my auntie, my teacher. Yeah. She would say to us, you have not arrived. You have not arrived. Like, okay, you booked that job, now book the next one. You know what I mean? And I think it was to have the humility.
Right.
Coming full circle, that's how you keep that little child alive. Because the child is not trying to get a Birkin bag.
Don't know what a Birkin bag is.
Don't know what a Birkin bag is.
Right.
They're just like, something about this feels good. Mm-hmm. When I do it, I want to get good at it. Or I idolize this person who's really good. Mm-hmm. I want to be like them. Mm-hmm. It's pure. It's not, you're not thinking about like 20 years down the line. Yeah. And then the other thing, this is a business at the end of the day. Yeah. It's the art versus commerce. You know, it's like, we have to make money. We have to earn a living. We want to have nice things. So everybody finds their own balance differently. And some people never do.
That's terrifying. I would hope that everybody does find a balance. I haven't found mine yet, but I feel like as long as there's breath in my lungs,
yes,
I'll be able to find that balance. But I did want to actually talk about, too, as far as validation. Mm-hmm. You have a song that called Soulfly, right? I used to listen to that song over and over again because that was me talking to myself in the mirror. Body dysmorphia is a real thing for me, right? Even when I was younger, I was the skinniest thing walking. And I would be like, but if I lived in but if land. You understand? I never understood the weight of a compliment. Even if I gave it to myself, I never did. You know what I'm saying? How hard was it for you to play that comparison, like not play that comparison game where you're comparing yourself to other people as far as, because I feel like in the music industry, almost in any industry, they're looking at women in a different fucking way, an objective way. You know what I'm saying? And so they want to objectify you. And so they have this idea of what you should look like. Did you ever have to stop yourself and be like, I'm comparing myself to other people? Other bodies, other hair types, other facial structures.
Not then. I would say more so as I get older. It's a thing where I'm like, okay, is it time for Botox? Like, is it time for...
Please don't play with that face.
I'm just saying, like...
Them syringes, I need them to be funded.
I need 4 cc's. No, but I have a funny... I'm glad you brought up Soulfly. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you this quick story. So... I was in college. I did a semester abroad in London. And there was this girl, let's call her Jennifer. Jennifer was drop dead gorgeous. She had the most perfect face, the perfect hair. The guy I was in love with her. She was not a nice girl. I didn't understand it. I was always the friend. I was everybody's friend and homegirl. And I was also broke, okay? I'm broke as hell, can't even afford McDonald's.
Right.
And she was dating a banker who took her to Disneyland Paris. So this was my first experience with like wanting someone else. You know how we see influencers and like
Yeah.
they're on vacation and I just need a man like that because da 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 da. Because look at what she
What I
has.
gotta do.
That's all I gotta
Right.
do. And I was determined. I could not one boyfriend, not nothing. I had like one guy buy me a drink in 6 months. It was very sad. It was very sad. Okay. It was getting desperate. But I wrote So Fly. I was drunk one night. Not that it matters,
No.
but I took all of that frustration, all that experience, and it came out of me in this song. I can't help, I'm depressed. Damn, if I was like Jennifer, I would be so fly. I'd have all this stuff. And then
Right.
as I'm writing the song, I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense because
Right.
I'm me. So I should just enjoy me.
Right. And Disney Paris is trash anyway. So we didn't even need to be going there anyway. Have you been there?
No.
It is
I
not
haven't.
fun. They don't even have cute rides. Like it's just ugh. But I get where you was going.
You
with it.
see?
Yeah, I get
So it's like I just even now I think it's like it's you're doing yourself a disservice.
it. Yeah.
Of course, I want to be thinner, or I shouldn't say of course. I personally, you know, I did all that. I spent $15,000 on a trainer at one point. I was a size 2.
Wow.
I looked like a stick of a matchstick,
Was it
like
good
a
enough?
a green bean.
Right. Was it good enough? Was it like, oh, did it satisfy you? Or like me, where I'm like, still, something's missing. I got to get something together.
Well, then it had to be something else.
Exactly.
Okay, I got this. Now I need to, and I think the biggest thing, the biggest hole for me was always my career because my career, I still have a career,
Yeah.
thank God.
Thank God.
But that moment was short lived. It was 2012 to like 2013 and a half. By 2014, I think maybe Fuck It All came out in 2014.
That's my fucking jam.
And that's when shit stopped. There were no more releases. There's a lot of stuff that went on that I got stuck in. And it was unfortunate and it was devastating. And I thought that my life was over. I thought that I had no life. This is what I'd been doing since I was 10,
Okay, but then it leads me to ask you, what do you define as a career?
Well, now,
All right.
so it's like it's the keep going of it all. It's just look at Cheryl Lee Ralph,
Mm-hmm.
okay, who's having this meteoric success at this moment, who we haven't seen much of for before Abbott, for years.
Yeah.
She didn't say, well, I'm going to go to Iowa and just like chill.
Right. Also, she probably didn't say that my acting career is over.
No, she didn't.
Right. So
Exactly.
what I'm saying is with you saying, hey, my music career, my career was over after 2013. That's not true. As long as you still are practicing the actual skill. To
So
me,
I have
feel
the
like
mindset of like this moment. I had this moment. Oh God, that's when the comparisons really start. Then I
There it
was
is.
like, now there's this girl. Oh God, there's this girl. Oh no. It's like, what am I gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
That's my hair. Like it would just be like, and what a hell of a mindset to live in. You know what I mean? It just it resolves nothing. It accomplishes nothing.
And it robs you of you enjoying the present.
the present.
Yeah.
So, by the grace of God, had I not had so much time to just, had I not stayed in it, like, how do I want to say this?
Mm-hmm.
I might have walked 1 mile per hour,
Okay.
half a mile an hour,
Mm-hmm.
but I walked just a little bit. Or I went doop and I took a step. And that was it for that day. You know, or I sat down for a week or a month and then I took a step. It's like I didn't appreciate it then, but having the time, the blessing of having the time to find yourself, like still be able to keep my apartment.
Yes.
If nothing else, I
Mhm.
kept that apartment. Child. And, you know, because I would get a couple of shows a year, which is not much,
Right.
but it was enough. So when my dad encouraged me to continue doing shows,
Mhm.
I didn't want to do it.
Mhm.
I was like, I don't want to sing refill. And
Mhm.
I love singing refill, but like, I don't have new music out.
Right,
What am I going to do? And then I end up getting City Winery, doing that tour. And then I'm 5 tours in now, and I'm seeing more people show up every time. It's something that now I've been able to see after like 5 years. I'm building something that I never really got to build before. My first show was opening up for Alicia Keys. Then I'm opening up for Trey Songz and Miguel. Then I'm doing all these amazing things, but they're not my shows.
Understood.
These people are coming to see me, and each year is 20 more people, is 50 more people, is 100 more people on Tuesday nights.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's also could be because of your presence on social media too, Elle. You do this.
You're
thing.
giving me too much
No, I'm
credit.
serious.
Oh, what
I
are you
do.
gonna say?
You do this thing
like
on
terrible.
IG Live where you
yeah. That's
are
it.
able to, because it's such a safe place, I would think, creating, right?
Yeah.
But so now you put it out in the public and you create on IG Live and watch everybody. I mean, everybody watches your creative process. When did you decide that you were able to share your technique and just give it to the world? Because, there are going to be people, I'm sure, on IG Live that have no requirements to talk about anything that you've ever done or what you should be doing, but they just have the audacity to fucking do it anyway. So why did you decide to do that? I love that. Like, that had me blown away, child.
Wait, what is it that I just share?
Like, you share your unreleased music, right? And then I watched you one time sit and make probably half a whole song. Seen that probably 3 times. And I'm watching the comments, and nobody's saying anything negative because they love Elle, by the way. But it's more so like you are giving the world something that's sacred to you. You know what I'm saying? That's a creative process that I would feel is safe with you until you decide to just here it is.
That's just how I am. I'm very generous. I've learned
vulnerable.
I'm very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable. Yeah.
I
love that.
I lost that for a while. I was always trying to protect myself. And that's, for me personally, that doesn't serve me. That's not who I am.
Where did that come from? You starting to protect yourself from the world?
Fuck ass people. Shady at realizing, honey, this is not the Care Bears. Okay? This is not. You got all these good intentions, and these people are like, ooh, like, and now I'm just like, I'm still going to be loving. I'm still going to be generous, but I'm not going to deplete. I'm not going to just be like, here you go.
See, but
what's half of my sandwich?
Right. But you could do that and also share your creative process with the world. The duality of it all is just mind blowing to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, this can be tough because I want to take ownership, but it's really not mine. It's not mine. You know, I know there's people on there. There's some people that are on there going like this. Okay. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You're not taking away my joy.
And only one person can do what you do, truly. So,
and I don't want to sound like negative, but like, who knows, right? Like, here's one reality. I could go home and write out a master plan and say, I'm gonna be the number one singer songwriter, black female, pop R&B, and I could do it all again and build up this whole massive thing again that I have to achieve and kill myself doing it. Or this time around, I could let it be what it's meant to be and control what I can control and show up as best as I can control could show up. Like, not to say don't have goals.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm feeling like that's not really for me, per se.
Right. And it's always, I think, the older you get, you start to ask yourself, why do you want these things? So it's okay to want those things, right?
Yes.
It's okay to have those things, but why do you want those things? Do you want it because you want for other people to see you actually doing something? Like, I used to obsess over, I have to stay I have to top of mind for people. I have to continue to keep doing something because then, niggas will not let go of what you got going on. What's next? So I always felt like, damn, I gotta always have something going on or else people, I had to release the perception of whatever they think of me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a prisoner of that anymore.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely agree. If you just have to let things go, will you be really upset if this doesn't happen? Why?
Right.
Right. Like, if this doesn't happen, you think this defines you in any way?
I think I'm still working through it, but I do believe that I do want my gift. I want to go back to my original. I've always wanted the world to know me and hear my music.
Okay.
And as a black female, that is not such an easy task.
No.
Okay. So maybe I lied 5 minutes ago when I said I don't have.
I see, and that's an accountable queen. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. But that could be fine too, especially when you know what you have to offer is destined for somebody else's ears and pleasure and whatever it is that they will take from you. I absolutely agree. But a lot of the times it's just, mentally, you doing these mental gymnastics. How are you going to show and prove somebody that you are greater than? You should already know you're great.
Woo, honey.
You should already know these things. But that gets me right to where I want to be, where we talk about clearly protection, right? Protection and also finding how to be more vulnerable in the music industry. Is that a thing? Like being vulnerable there? I don't even think that that's a thing you exercise in the music industry. I feel like it's something that you close off completely because it's the business. And like your father said, it's not music, it's the music business.
Like, let's say I was to walk into Sony tomorrow. I would very calmly say...
Sorry, the way that you're finding it is bad. The way I would calmly say.
Because it's like... There's nothing you could really take away from... That's another thing about losing someone or something. The worst shit has already happened to me. Okay? Try me.
Hmm.
So I have ironically, I have more confidence now than I did at 20. And I saw that looking through a bunch of old pictures. I was like, you're young, beautiful, fine, skinny. You had all these things. It was not going to happen for you then.
Yeah.
And if it did, you might not be here because you didn't know what to do with all that.
Yeah.
I can't be broken. Like I survived the worst of what I thought there was, and I'm on the other side of it. So, I would say, listen, I understand this is business and you have your goals. Hold on. Because thinking about, well, really quick, side note, I don't know if they might be watching this, but like to tell them that I know that they need to they have to have their own needs met and their interests. That's something I didn't understand as a young artist. Like this is chess. This is not about you walking in here and saying, it's got to be like this, that, and the third, or even if it's because I need protection or I want to da-da-da-da-da. Like, no, they're calling this A&R and that writer and that producer, and it's for a reason. And look, you can't win every battle. Just like, be like, all right, cool.
Right.
Chill. Chill out. Be happy to be there. Get what you need and let them get what they need. That's what I've understood now. There are certain things where it's a hell fucking no, and some things where I could, okay. Compromise.
Right. But would you, if you were to give like any advice, right, to a artist who is just starting, right? Because I feel like right now, every industry is fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when it's the music industry. I feel like they're tired. Like they're exhausted to where they are following one formula.
Yeah.
They got just one. Yeah. And it's no longer about longevity.
No.
It's more about instability, right?
Yeah.
To me, it just feels unstable. Everything feels like you could be a one-hit wonder, and there's so many of them. Like, and I feel like back in the day there was, but we had different types of one-hit wonders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That served different genres. I feel like everybody wants a specific genre because that's where the money is. And then we all follow the same formula. And it takes away from the artist's integrity and their music and their dream before they got into the music industry. What would you say to somebody who would be afraid to speak up because they don't want to lose this opportunity?
Ooh.
They don't want to wash this away. So they'll say, okay, 1 year, I just won't say anything. Okay, 2 years, they know best because they're in the industry. I just got here. And I think that's just fucked up.
It is fucked up.
Fucked up to me.
Okay, like, let's say you hate the color pink. You despise it.
Yeah.
And they want you to have a pink album cover. That's just the irony of the business, right? I would say today, well, if I go with this pink album cover, I hate pink. But if I go with this pink album cover, number one, if it doesn't work, it wasn't my fault. Number two, if the pink album cover is going to get me the world tour or the budget for the this, for the that, then I can live with that. Like, everything cannot be the most burning, most important thing in the world. I'll give you a perfect example. Refill. Come up with this smash refill. Everyone's going crazy. Then like a week or two before we're going to drop it, they come to me and they're like, so we want to take out the fiddle refill. And I was just like, no. It makes the record.
Thank you.
I didn't have to yell. It was like, no. It wasn't a question. There was another time where
did they fight you on that?
I mean, whatever fight happened, it probably happened between my management and, they have their stuff. As an artist, you want to let, have
The
some
manager be the bad
buffer.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was such an easy no, because I was like, when sometimes I have these visions and I was like, I know what this is going to do. And to be fair, some people hate that song. Believe it or not, I know. There are people that you could be the juiciest peach and somebody don't like peaches.
It's true.
But it is an earworm. It is an instant, what the hell is that? What's happening here? And it was a risk. It was a risk.
Yes.
An R&B record with a fiddle?
Okay.
Let's
I thought
do
we were
this.
in folkland. I said folk and R&B?
Yes.
Sounds great. And we
Thank
played
you.
that song out of the damn box.
Out of the box.
And-
So that, there are times when you know what it is and what it has to be. But, something like, I'll give another example with my hair. I was getting bored, and I had this lady that made the most amazing wigs, and I just started wanting to wear wigs. And I would go to like a red carpet in a blonde wig or something, feeling fine as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And they were mortified. If I had been an artist now in this generation, where it's show your personality, show variety, you're doing all this stuff, it would have been through the roof. But I was doing all that stuff before. I was coming off of the model of, you're a package, you're a product.
Okay. So you feel like, maybe I'm wrong, you feel like there was a formula back then too?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I came in off the end of that, of a formula.
Yeah.
And I understand now what it wasn't like a personal attack on me and my creative freedom.
Yeah.
It was like, you aren't known for something. It's a signature thing, and you're taking away from that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. I just felt like, you guys are mean.
Right.
You know what I mean?
want me to grow.
You wanted me to express myself, and it's like, no, we're protecting an investment and a product that was created with intention.
Yeah.
So I get that now, and there are things that I just it is what it is. I think every artist will go through this,
right?
And you just have to do what's right for you. I know some artists that couldn't take it anymore, and they went into writing, or they went into production, or they left entirely,
right?
And they do something else. I think when you really there are certain artists where you have to do it, and it's just that's your life.
Are you signed right now? Are you?
No.
Will you stay independent? Are you thinking about signing?
I'm open. I mean, I think that if I were to I haven't really released anything yet.
Okay.
So I think if I were, it's going to be a lot harder on my own, but I will have that creative freedom and the opportunity to build leverage. It's so interesting, because it's like, if I do it now, if I put out the independent record and it doesn't work, they'll still take me. Okay. But it almost takes away from, like, if I don't put it out and I do it now, I could be like, don't you know I'm Elle Varner? Like, you know what I mean? I'd be thinking about everything.
A plan, absolutely.
And strategy.
Right.
So I think the right situation, partnership, I would absolutely only do a partnership with 212 Entertainment. And that would be, I think I have a lot to offer.
You absolutely do. That's first. What are the boundaries that you would make this time around?
Ooh, okay. I would definitely have limited creative input. Because with all the humility of the world, I am a singer-songwriter. That is different. That is a that is a thing on its own, separate from being an artist. It means I'm telling my stories my way. Okay.
Let's really talk about it.
So I just happen to do this. But I remembered being told in college that I should be a songwriter and I should write for other artists like and be like Neo and then come out as an artist. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I want to do this. What they were saying was, you're chunky, you don't have the look. I know. It was.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been through it.
We've all been through that.
I've been told that I'm too dark to be being on the radio. I can't be on the radio because there's only like 2 dark-skinned people where I was working, and it was enough. They can't have all real black people. And I was like,
where are they?
There was a person of color. So they weren't even black to tell me this. Just a person of color. But
people are so ignorant. They don't even have their own original ideas most of the time.
Mm-mm.
They haven't even taken the time to think shit through.
Fucking lazy, yes.
And they will really tell you something with conviction.
Yes.
And it's like, you're actually pathetic.
Mm-hmm. But if you're young enough, you'll
believe it. You'll believe it.
And it'll stay with you for a while until you do the work to actually take that mindset out and free it, because you're so stuck on, damn, well, this ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? This complexion can't go nowhere, so I'm cursed. And then you think you're a curse. So
that is one of the biggest things that I think is one of the biggest lies ever told.
Yeah.
Dark skin is the most beautiful skin to me on the planet.
100%.
You got people out here in the tanning booth in the sun with their they want everything about it, but they want to tell you the lie. That's not da-da-da-da-da.
You want to be everything about me. Everything that I have, you want it, but you don't want to be black. Like, you don't want to be a nigga.
Well, because the power is so strong that, God forbid, you were to actually live in that truth of that beauty and that power.
Yeah.
We can't have that. We got to tell you that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, that you're not this and you're not that, because you're too much.
It's aggressive.
It's not aggressive. It's just aggressive. That's what they
would say. They would want to get you second guessing, but if that don't work, aggressive will definitely do it. There are so many ways to try to get these very talented black women not to step out on faith. There are so many methods that I've seen throughout my career, and I've only been here for about 10 years, 11, and I've seen so many ways, like insurmountable ways, that they will make sure that you know you're beneath me, or I want you to believe that, because I believe you're actually on top of me. I think you're better than me, but I need you to believe that I actually reign supreme. And that has been the thing. The younger mind. Me now, I wish the fuck somebody would. You understand? Because I can read somebody from the rooter to the tutor. But I just don't, I hate that shit. So whenever, like, even saying, somebody telling you, you just have some weight on you, or because you were thin back then. So I don't even know what the fuck they're looking at. But they just wanted you to know at any point, I can tell you how you feel about yourself. What you think about yourself. And it always, always, always bothered me. Always. But I do also want, since you do have boundaries, and you said that you were that bitch because you are, being the student and the teacher, and being able to decipher when you need to be the student and when you need to be the teacher, and stripping yourself from the bad parts of ego. Because I feel like everybody should have ego.
Yeah.
You have to have a little bit of audacity
to
move, especially as black women.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you decide? Okay, I have to still be a student though. I still need to grow, and in order to grow, you have to let go of some of that. I'm the professor. I've been doing that for a long time.
My fears and my trauma have manifested in ways that have held me back from moving forward and from just showing up, and that's why I said I realized I was full of shit. Like, you're a glass half empty kind of girl or a glass half full kind of girl. And it used to drive me nuts, but my dad was like, always, he would say there's no problems, just solutions. Like, he just was a solution based person. And I would be like, but I want to sit and I want to cry. I'm sad and I just, and there are times that are very, like, I would say like every 3 years, maybe every 3 to 4 years, I have to go on some type of vacation. I'll go to Florida. I'll go to Sag Harbor. I'll find some cheap little I'll finagle something.
Yeah.
And I will go be with myself, get some nice dinner, whatever. I'm not calling you back and I'm not doing anything. Goodbye. Burnout is real.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to participate in the solution, the burnout, you're just waiting for the next burnout to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that exhaustion comes from years and years of never actually saying, this shit ain't gonna go away. It's I wrote a song called Stick Around. It was the first song I wrote after my dad passed. I had been in bed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I said, stick around long enough and your heart is going to break. Stick around a little more and it'll break again for sure. I can't make you no promises. I just need you to do your best because no one's coming to save you, sweetheart. Pick you up off the ground. No one's coming to save you, sweetheart, but I hope you stick around. That was it. It was a little seed, and it was the acknowledgement that, like,
that was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
I'm trying not to cry, but yeah,
So,
it's a beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song. I'm so congested, or I would sing it, but that's been my biggest lesson in this last year and change is like, you could take breaks. You don't have to like tackle this whole mountain in a day, but and it puts you just in a place of humility, of wanting to learn. But now you have some knowledge yourself, you're both.
What would you say as somebody, I'm grieving and stuff like that, but I would say, I would ask you, what's the first step as far as trying to get back? Well, I don't think you'll ever get back on that road that you had before. Like any road, I think the journey changes.
Right.
Your life has changed.
Right.
Completely. To make that first step, what made you do that? To get out of bed, what made you do that?
I mean, it's like I've exhausted this. Like, this pen has run out of ink. There's nothing left here. And I thought that it was going to be linear, like, or compartmentalized like that. Like, I took a month off last year. I did a show 5 days after he passed. I booked an Essence gig.
That's when I saw you, and then you told me, but you were like, "Hey,
and
did you know?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
like,
it hadn't really, and I've learned this too. you can come to terms with it. You can be in the acceptance phase and the out of the shock of it, and then completely get smacked any day of the week. And just like, I'm tired all the time. Why?
Right. Right. Right.
This is a life change that nothing can prepare you for.
Yeah.
Nothing can prepare you for.
Right.
So it's not like I just mope around all day, but it's just so much to adjust. But
because there are ebbs and flows
yeah.
of grieving as a whole. And then I believe in phantom healing,
Ooh, what's that?
which is like you have this one phase where you're like, well, I felt like I healed from it. It's been like 2 weeks, right? And you're like, I'm already doing better. I'm already great. It's happening, but guess I'm handling it really well. But it usually is just denial, But you think that you've already healed from certain things, grieving being one, but anything. Like when I decided to go to therapy, the first 2 weeks, you couldn't tell me I was a therapist. You couldn't tell me that I could tell you what's wrong with you.
Right.
But my therapist was like, you're not healing right now. You're excited that you're doing the process, but you aren't healing yet. You just want to be glad that you're doing something, and that's fine, but we haven't really got to what hurts the most. That will sit your ass right back down and say, all right, I got to do some moving parts around. And I think the same thing for grieving, but that happens forever. I feel like I'll be fine. Life's okay, miss him. Great. I know he's watching down on, it was all the things. He's watching me and it's great. And then the next week, I'll be like, this ain't fair though. Like nothing's fair. I'm not prepared for this. There's no way I'm prepared for this type of pain. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets so hard sometimes. And I'm like, how is somebody supposed to exist after this? And why would somebody want that to do that to me as somebody who's not a bad person? I always thought you had to do good things. You have to be a great person, but still bad things happen to good people.
Even beyond that, yes, bad things happen to good people, but also we don't see it most of the time when it's happening to us.
Yeah.
The opportunity that we're being given. I have grown in ways. Hold up, now I'm about to get emotional.
Yes.
Honey, I have shown up in my life not for my dad. This is not a thing of like, well, this is what my dad would want. I got to honor my dad. Like, I honor him in everything I do anyway.
Just the being.
But to honor me, that's the gift that I'm giving him.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To say your child is living her life. She's showing up in her life. She's taking risks. She's loving, crying, laughing. Like, it's more than like, oh my God, he's not going to walk me down the aisle. Oh my God, he's not going to see me actually get the Grammy on the stage like that's on TV. And I got to give one of those speeches like, Dad, it's like, when he was here, I was so miserable. I just lived in it and then I was like, for what? This is not life. Yeah. Shit happens to everybody. You're not that special. Your shit is not that deep.
Elle yelling at me. All right.
No, I'm yelling at me through him. But you know what I mean? So it's like, I just pruned this plant that had these long to the floor. her weave was 32 inches.
Mhm.
And it was missing every leaf all the way down it. Okay. And I just said, why? Why? I cut them. Been growing since the day I got it. And then for a minute, I was like, I looked up and I was like, oh. And then it's like, that had to happen. There's new leaves growing. There's new life. There's new growth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we are not in control of most things.
Mm-hmm.
And we waste so much energy trying to control things that are out of our control when that energy could be used over here doing something life-giving.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
One more thing I want to say that I've noticed is that whenever I'm doing something, like my favorite thing, I love a good Netflix series.
Absolutely.
And, bed o'clock. No, but just, I love to chill.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'll start thinking and ruminating and, just all these thoughts. When I'm doing something physical, I know the gym. I know I'll go one day. But like if I'm doing the dishes, I don't have an elevator. I don't have a doorman. I don't have a washing machine, and I don't have a dishwasher. I know.
But that's peak. Yeah.
These were things that I had for years.
Yeah.
And I always had it. And then as soon as I moved, I was like, oh my God. How will I ever?
Uh-huh.
And now I'm so appreciative because it's like, you needed this. You needed to get real. Mm-hmm. You needed to find the worker in you. Find the person, and then it's like these are things that I do, and I feel so much pride and like participation. It sounds corny, but it's like it's basic things. Yeah. But I will have a butler one day, though.
But I think this is necessary for eras in your life.
It is. Yeah. It is.
It's just important to even get you to. Well, he's trying to get you to appreciate. Yes, they're trying to get you to appreciate. The universe is telling you, baby, you lost sight. I need you to get back to it. And you're capable. Sometimes you don't even think that you're capable of doing these things because you haven't done them in so long.
I know.
Honey. Muscle memory. Let's get moving. Let's get them feet working. And doing these things that you used to do. And it might spark more creativity in that way too. Oh shit, I didn't know I was capable of that. Uh-huh. Let me see if I'm capable at this. I used to do this. Let me try this out again.
Right.
And try different. It gets you moving in other ways too.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why for me it's the gym, because if I can lift 140, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I am a superhero. Uh-huh. And then I get upstairs, I'm like, what can I attack now? What can I get done? Now, is it short-lived? Maybe if I don't put it to work in about a day or so. Yeah. I have to remind myself, and then I go back to the gym. It's a constant reminder.
And you know what? One thing I'll say about that for me is whatever happens next, especially when it comes to like physical body, this time it's going to be for me. It ain't going to be for no man. It ain't going to be for no job, no label, no validation. Because, honey, I love me. I love me more than I did at size 2. That's where I'm enough.
Hello.
Baby.
I'm enough. Because, honestly, if you do things for other people, you won't even get to enjoy why you've done that goal.
Yeah.
Especially because I lived in that world, if the man don't even acknowledge that you did this goal.
Right.
Being in these relationships, I used to be a people pleaser. And you know, didn't work out for me too well. So I had to do full stop. What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? You know, and I used to tell you this, fuck it all. I listened to it while I was in a relationship. And although I was cool in it, like it was a cool, we coasted. And that's because I've
coasted,
which means I didn't care or not care because I've already turned off my feelings, because I think after a while the man just wouldn't validate, he wouldn't give me a compliment, and then he would say, I don't even give you compliments. People on the internet give you compliments.
Not a hater, man. Not a hating ass boyfriend. But those are the worst.
The worst. And I was coasting so bad that those things didn't bother me anymore. It just was like I was stagnant. I was okay with just being here. Also, this was the longest relationship I've been in. So I just thought, you're supposed to be here. I am not a commitment girl. Not big on it. But I just wanted to go in the way of what society says. Shit, it's been longer than 2 years. It's been longer than, you can't just abandon it. Heard fuck it all.
Ooh.
And it woke something up. And I said, what the fuck am I doing? Because when you were talking, I was like, all right, this is, I can't, anything I did wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. It didn't matter. But the one thing I did wrong, like if I had an attitude, the world would like blow up. This is why you this is why you that, this is why. And I've always been able to thank you through your music, especially when you talk about relationships, because it's a very close thing for me. You know, I don't share relationships like that. I've only shared like one, and I've been trying to be private more so. So when I do that, I'm private in real life too. I don't tell people my issues with the man because I end up,
going back.
Yeah. I'm good for that. I'm gonna spin the block, girl.
I'm good for
I'm gonna spin it.
Yeah.
And spin it until I'm tired of being spun.
Ooh.
So
I might use that lyric.
Yeah, please.
Ooh.
But it's just fuck it all was it. But also, what have you taken from these relationships? And my therapist said not to use failed, but faded. Because I had a problem with failing. I have a big problem with failing, period. It makes my skin crawl, even saying the word. But failed relationships makes me want to never show my face ever again.
That's the magic of songwriting, because what you got from that song and what I was saying at that song, I love that. That's my gift back to me as a songwriter, is how it impacts other people and how they take their own interpretation. Yes. So what did you ask me about failed relationships?
Oh, yeah. Faded relationships. My question is, what have you learned about yourself that you were able to apply to your creative process? Like things that you learn about yourself. Like I didn't know how passionate I was until I looked over my last relationship and how loving and compassionate I was. Because truly, I got real daddy issues. So I'm not that compassionate, but I'm learning I could be soft. And I didn't know I could be soft. I'm a pretty strong individual. And I had no, and I am. It's kind of nasty. But it's, I didn't know that I could be that soft. I didn't know that I could love somebody to that extent. And I'm able to take that and apply that to the things that I do and that I do enjoy, that don't disrespect me or don't, try to neglect me in different types of ways or manipulate me. So my thing is like, is there anything that you've learned from your
I had a situation where I had no issue whatsoever pouring in and it was like overflow, I'm not making you a sandwich so you'll stay. It's like, I love you. I want to make you a sandwich. You know what I mean? This is not a trick.
Right.
Just
This is
you're hungry.
being
yeah,
me. Right.
just being me. And I remember a moment where there was a lack of reciprocity. And a light bulb went off, and I was like, these things I do for you so freely, you got to think about it. You have to ask yourself, and I'm just over here dishing it out. And I was like, the old me would have just continued to work it, like to be in the drama, to be in the relationship, be in the space. Like, this is life. This is love.
Yes.
And I did something different. I was like, I'm going to take a pause here.
Right.
And I took all that energy and poured it right into me. Honey, it was the most effective I had been in so long. I'm not losing no sleep. I'm not doing all this here, there, and everywhere. I have shit to do. If you don't have shit to do, that's on you. We as women, we are just so fucking accepting and so loving, and we just want to... That's not going to work no more, because it's not helping him and it's not helping us.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He thinks...
But the thing is, you don't win when you do that, right? You don't ever win. Take it from me. You don't win. But even if you do the opposite, you still won't win. Like, either way, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make excuses for you anymore.
Yeah.
I want you to actually live in the truth that you just don't show up. Let's talk about it. Even then. But I used to think I was like, I used to say Bobisha the builder, right? I could build a man. He got potential. I can do it. And then he's
going to leave you and be the perfect man.
And be the great, perfect man. Built, shined, pristine for the next woman, which has not been a thing for me. Like,
what?
Please make that other black lady happy, because I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done. You ain't never, like, if I'm done.
Yeah.
That has to be 3 done.
Oh, yeah.
3. But that last 3, that third one,
right?
You ain't going to hear from me ever again. You won't. There's no way. But I give too many people chances. Like, I give a lot of people grace, because I know they come from, they might have a background that isn't the same as mine. They have parents that are not the same as mine. So everything that they have experienced has been completely different. So grace is given. But then there's the manipulator that knows that grace is given and knows that where I'm from, I try to be kind. I try to make sure that you know. So he knows how to manipulate. And that's a scary sight.
You have to keep the focus on yourself. Meaning, what is it about me that is attracted? Water seeks its own level. When you really look under the hood, and when you really look at yourself, you might see, this is all I know.
Yep.
This is all I'm comfortable experiencing. Yeah. I'm not even comfortable in them glass slippers. Give me some flip-flops. I wouldn't know what to do in a glass slipper. Who, me?
Right.
And it's so funny because, like, I've had that experience with men in my life where even if I'd be like, me?
What you mean, me?
Why is this man talking to me? Like, literally.
Right now.
I swear to God, I know I'm that friend you want to punch in the face. Like, this, like, but I really, because I grew up, and this is fucked up, but kids tend to be, they pick on you when you don't look a certain way, or if you look a certain way. So I didn't have guys up my ass So in a way, it worked out for me because I was like, that was time for me to learn the guitar.
Yeah.
And write songs about it.
Mhm.
I was not going on dates. I wasn't doing anything. So when I started getting that attention from men, it felt crazy to me. And I just was like, oh.
So did you have the idea of I need to be happy I'm here?
Yeah, but there's that part of me. I'm not with the shits. Like, there's shit I'm not doing, and I don't care who you are or what's going on. I am not the kid that you can peer pressure into anything.
Same. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
So sad.
Y'all could do it. I'll be over here on this couch.
I'm not going to judge, but I'm
not going to judge. I'm not going to tell on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that kid. I won't be participating.
Same.
There's nothing you can do about that.
When we talk, okay, so when you talk about picking up the guitar, because I'm gonna have like 2 more questions, but music is ingrained in your very fiber, right? Even with talking to you, and when you introduced yourself, you had said like, you said I songwrite, I make these songs, and I'm an incredible singer. You like all these things, and we love all of that. But do you ever feel like what you produce is who you are? And are you able to balance, like, cut between both? Like, oh, I produce these things, like I make these songs and I enjoy music, but also I'm also this person, like to just separate.
I'm not very good at that.
Okay.
I think I'm learning that. I've been in acting class for the last year. It's a very emotional experience, and a lot of no one knew who I was for a while until my teacher like outed me. She played one of my songs, and then everybody started freaking out about it, and I was crying one day. I was like, you guys are healing my inner child, because they love me in that class. Right. They love me.
Right.
Not Elle Varner.
Right.
So looking at that, I'm like, you're kind, you're generous, you're loving. You are vulnerable.
Okay.
That's my superpower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's messed up that it feels uncomfortable to like relish in your goodness. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Celebrate yourself.
Yeah, to celebrate yourself.
We don't do it enough.
We don't do it.
No.
We don't do it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because sometimes I feel like you get lost in your career and it becomes who you are.
Yeah.
Then you step outside of the career, or it gets quiet or whatever, and then you're like, who the fuck am I then?
Right.
Who am I? I don't know who I am besides the things that I do for money and also from passion. But also I feel like there has to be something else. I have to take a break and figure out what I'm going to talk about. Like if I have a podcast, and things like that. And if this becomes all that I do, I won't have any experience to tell people, to show people, to be able to, recount the times that I felt down or recount the times that I picked myself up and how I did it. I want to be able to have the space to separate the two and not have them melt into one. I'm working on that. But
got you.
I don't want to define myself by what I do. Because whenever somebody does ask me, like, who are you? I say, oh, I'm a podcaster, I'm this. Who are you? Who are you? And I was like, I be working. I'm a hardworking girl. That's it.
Yeah.
But, thinking and being able to have the space to think about all these experiences, then I've learned, I'm a compassionate girl. I'm a girl that likes to hike. I'm a girl finding things that I don't have to monetize. Finding things that actually bring joy so I can be able to speak here and tell you what it is and who I am. So, yeah, I think it was very important because you've been doing this for a long time. So sometimes it could get confused.
And you're so real that's very rare. You know what I mean? authentically yourself.
Yeah.
It's very refreshing.
Thank you, Al.
And whatever you do, whatever space you choose, it's like you represent so many women, so many Black women
Mm-hmm.
as powerful, well spoken, ambitious, and confident.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need that.
Yes, we do.
We need that.
Absolutely. Because you
And
do.
it's going to be harder for you for those reasons.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's where you say, well, fuck them. You ain't getting rid of me. That used to be my thing. If I was in a class where I was the only Black girl, only Black kid, I it was like reverse. The opposite of whatever you thought that was gonna do is what happened. I was like, what space can I infiltrate next?
I'm allowed to put my foot in any lane that I want.
Any
to
lane.
be in. Yeah, I'm allowed.
Because I want to. I ain't gotta explain shit to you.
That's it.
I'm here. I'm alive, and this is what I want to do.
Just because you don't see a lot of Black women doing it doesn't mean that we're incapable of doing it.
No.
And so, yeah,
we don't have to rationalize and come up with that's been done to us for so many years. I mean, we just were able to vote 5 minutes ago.
Right.
They haven't fixed anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's for another.
Listen, don't, please.
But I think we're gonna start seeing some changes. I think people are tired. I think people are waking up, and there's nothing left to do but actually effectuate changes.
Do it. Okay, for my overthinker girls.
Woo.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing we need to do? Because I feel like you've already been able to find your way through overthinking.
Uh-huh.
What's one thing that we need to do to not overthink or release ourselves from overthinking small things?
Uh-huh.
Because I'll overthink everything. I will go down in
Same.
history of the overthinker of the world.
Overthinkers Club president.
Yes, a CEO. Definitely. For sure. Yeah.
We should start a little thing, the Overthinkers Club.
Yeah.
I said something kind of to this earlier, but what if, like, I'm trying to think of something I just did where, oh, well, I didn't go to this party, but it was it was an industry party during Fashion Week, and my first thought was, oh, I shouldn't go because, I got to be on point. I've done hundreds of these, so it's like you want to walk in, you want to part the room like the Red Sea and have everybody going. And the reason why I didn't go was only because I was in the studio late. It was, studio is actually more important. There's going to be a million parties, but I would have gone because I don't know what was going to happen there.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck. Excuse me.
No, say it.
I don't give a fuck.
Thank you.
Y'all are just talking all fucking day, all fucking week after week. Yes. Whatever, insert this person here. Did you hear about this?
Yep.
The shit don't matter, okay? You ain't making or breaking nothing. I'm going to do what I'm going to do regardless. I don't need your support. I don't need a retweet. I don't need you to fucking say, yo, she's dope. Because it's a lot of people who will not do that to this day.
Yeah.
Wanting me to fail, wanting me to count myself out.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I'm either going to do shit or I'm not. You are really not a factor.
Hello. Hi. Operator. Because there's just 100%. They think that they are controlling your life at any point. Like, they hate watch. I have so many hate watchers. These niggas will lose their shit over me every 3 years, right? Every 3 years they lose their shit, but they think they're doing something.
Yeah.
When I've already released myself from being a prisoner of self-acceptance.
Woo!
I've already done that. That's already been thing. I've lived that. You don't have any control over what I do in my life or any control of what this universe has for me.
Hello.
So what's for me is going to come to me, and it won't be because you say it's not going to or it's going to. I'm telling you, when I learned that, I was able to do this.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank
like
you.
you could say what this is
Yeah.
everything I've been talking about. It's
Yeah.
the showing up
Mhm.
and it's being in action. We might get 5 views, we might get 5 million
Don't give a
views.
fuck, because it helps me, and that's why I wanted to be clear in the intro. It's for me. It's for how I navigate finding creative freedom again.
Yes.
And that is enough for me. Now,
Yes.
if I get a view, I know eventually, I mean, I worked a long time, people will see themselves in this interview, because the things that you have said in here is like mind-blowing to me, because I don't think a lot of people know about you in like as the person, as
They
the
don't.
artist, right? As the artist, sure, because they love you. But once they know, oh, Elle, a real ass bitch, like she's just real. She's real. Oh,
as
okay.
real as they come.
And if Elle can do it, I know I can do it, because I see myself in Elle, so I can do it too.
No, all day.
My final one is, if you can finish this sentence, because it's gonna be definitely a practice for me with everybody I talk to. And how they handle situations, but I don't know why this is not working out for me, but what I do know is,
I don't know why this isn't working out for me, but what I do know is what is for me will find me.
okay, that's perfect.
That's it.
Thank you, Elle. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much for sitting with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting vulnerable and honest with me.
Yes.
And it was great to be able to give you flowers.
Thank you.
You know, you just definitely deserve them. And you're going to get so much more. I promise. So much more.
It's so wonderful. I thank you to actually be able to receive them.
Mm-hmm.
And to also, I just feel so comfortable where I'm at, where it's like, you know, when you're just like waiting for the next thing to happen, is so you can't even receive something because you're focused on like, well, when am I going to get this? It's like, yeah, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
I received that. So it's, and I believe it too.
That's what I'm saying.
I believe you.
You are deserving, and you know you're deserving.
Yeah.
So that is the best part of this. That's the best part, that you're able to receive it, smell the flowers, and be able to know that there's more flowers to come. Because you are really, for sure, an inspiring human being. And I aspire, truly. So I appreciate you, Elle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.